is more than just, your Outlook or your Gmail. That's not email marketing. That's just email for regular communications. That's just business operations. When we talk about email marketing, we're talking about like actual campaigns, bringing in email to market your business on an ongoing regular basis. And so here's this study back in 2019, and it's only risen since then, especially because of COVID. But 83% of people prefer email as their main communication channel. The reason for this is because of the convenience. The reason for this is because of the convenience of it. Most people check their email at least 3 times a day. The majority, especially like millennials, myself, the Gen X, at least 10 times a day. So it's a lot. You have the opportunity to be in front of your target audience anywhere between 3 to 10, if not more. If they're me, oh, I'm at least 30 times a day. I mean, I have my phone in front of me, and I don't even use my phone for a phone. It is pretty much my email. That is it. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking, oh, maybe, I've tried email marketing before and it just didn't work. Well, it may not have worked because it was not set up properly. Email does work. It is other than promotional products, it has one of the highest ROIs. So moving into the different types of email marketing that we have, just trying to move the video off the screen so I can actually see it. So you have different types of email marketing. I'm trying to think of the term for it. I mean, there's different types of campaigns. You've got your broadcast or blast, which is like your one time, maybe you have a close for the holidays or a new CEO or something that is just a one-off. It's not an ongoing process. It's just here's to the list of people that you work with regularly. Hey, we're just announcing we're going to be closed for Thanksgiving break. Then you have your drip campaigns, which are a series of emails. And this is more of to your cold leads. You're introducing a product or service or, an introduction overall to your company. Like an educational piece or something. Like right now we're doing a drip campaign for a client who focuses mainly on gym owners for bookkeeping services, and it's totally cold leads. So it's not a nurture campaign because there's nothing to nurture yet. We haven't engaged with them. It's a drip campaign because it's the first time, and it goes for several, like this particular campaign we're doing it for him is for the next 3 months till the end of the year. So it's several emails spread out over the course of several weeks, several months, depending on how you have it planned out, and how pretty much the overall strategy of the theme of your campaign. I've seen ones that last an entire year, and yikes. I don't recommend that. That's a lot of upfront work. But it's, again, it all is dependent on what you're offering in that particular campaign. Then you have your nurture campaigns. And this is where somebody has already engaged with you at some point. They're not a cold lead completely. This is like maybe they've already purchased something, but then, dropped off the face of the planet for a month or two. You're trying to re-engage with them or nurture that lead back into your products and services. The nurture campaign, again, can be several weeks, months long. And you're really looking for that behavior from them to personalize that message in the nurture campaign. Drip, and I'm switching back and forth between these because there's many differences. When you hear drip, a lot of people think that's the same as a nurture. It's not. They're two totally different things. The drip is, yes, you want to personalize it to your overall target audience, but you don't know them yet. You don't know where they've been on your website. Whereas a nurture campaign, you do because you're engaging with them regularly. You're personalizing their experience with their past engagement with your company, as well as when you have like an email that, has say 2 links in it. One is to your social media. Another is to maybe, a download that you have on one particular service. And then the next email, they didn't click on anything in that email. So you want to watch for that behavior in that first one. You're tracking every behavior within the email, whether it be out to your website to go download a lead magnet that you're giving them. You're tracking all of that behavior to better message to them specifically and personalize that message to them. If you notice they keep clicking on a certain topic each time, okay, then you're going to want to change your nurture campaign for them specifically to go down that particular service or product, because they keep showing interest in only that. So there's a lot more in-depth tracking in the nurture versus the drip. Obviously with the drip, yes, you're still tracking stuff, but you don't know them. It's still cold until they start engaging with you more. So any questions on the different types of emails?
Cameron, this is Cynthia. I have a quick question.
Yep.
So in my industry, they always call it a drip campaign. This is very enlightening to see a nurture, and it totally makes sense. However, because we do a lot of nurture campaigns, I guess we were calling them drip campaigns. So can we send out drip campaigns to past clients or people we've quoted in the past who never became clients? Or is that a no-no? And also, can you also go on, because we belong to like Data Axle, and I can get lists of different types of commercial clients. Can I send those people out drip campaigns on an email, even though they're totally cold leads, I don't know them? Or is that a no-no?
No, that would be considered a drip campaign because it's cold leads, as long as, I mean, if they're in, especially because I'm familiar with Data Axle. So those are people who have opted in somewhere that they're okay with third-party sponsors, or wherever they were, they've agreed to be contacted by others and be on an email list. So
perfect.
That would be a drip campaign because it's totally cold. The other situation that you were talking about where it's past people, that's going to be a nurture campaign because you engage with them at some point, and now you're just you kind of want to draw them back in and remind them, hey, we spoke a few months ago. Or the one thing I would recommend though is when it comes to nurture campaign and re-engaging people, if they're still in your list just sitting there and they have not in any way engaged with you for more than 6 months, archive them. Because if you keep sending them emails and they're not engaging, and you should be doing this regularly, like every 3 months, clean your list and remove, not completely delete them from your system. You don't want to delete them because you still want that trail, but you just want to archive them, move them to a different segment where you're archiving them. And that helps from minimizing the risk of being blacklisted. And nobody ever wants their domain blacklisted because you're pretty much shut down email wise. Even like your Outlook and Gmail, they'll shut you down there as well for regular communications because your domain now has a bad reputation. So you've got to clean regularly. Yes, you can do the cold emails, but when you do cold emails, you always want to do what's called like a, well, each platform calls it differently, but a batch. So you only want to send out like a small amount every day over the course of several days. So you're kind of warming up, one, your domain, and two, that cold list, and kind of watching for those hard bounces, spams, and unsubscribes. If you do them in smaller chunks, then obviously the percentage of each group is lower. Instead of sending out 5,000 and 50% come back as hard bounce or something, that's going to flag a platform and be like, hey, what are you doing here? Whereas if you're just doing smaller batches each time, the stats kind of stagger, and then there's no red flags to the campaign. because you're being a little bit more responsible with it.
What's a small batch?
So small batch, depending on your platform, MailChimp considers a small batch like 100 to 250. There's sometimes like if the client has really big lists, like 20,000, I would do like 1,000 per day over the course of 20 days or 20 business days. Because you don't ever, especially for B2B, you don't want to send on Sundays.
I have a question. In the case of people that have not responded and you've kind of archived them, would that be a group appropriate for a new broadcast or blast?
If they, so you would want to put them in a nurture campaign, but again, if it's been more than, I always say 3 months, but it's normally, I clean at 3 months. If they have not engaged in 6 months, even through another nurture campaign, just archive them.
But not, you don't even put them, like we had a change, we've had some additional benefits added. I mean, we can do VPN and credit counseling and some other things that have been changed and added to our benefits. You wouldn't want to do anything like that for people?
No, for new services, yes, absolutely. Yeah, new services, that's always a great way to bring them back in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but if it, again, if it's, you know, if they have shown absolutely like not even opened a single email in 6 months to a year, don't. I would not. I would probably put them into a cold email or flush them through the system, like a email verification system, to see if that email even exists anymore. Because the last thing you want is try to send them an email and, you know, their Gmail account's completely closed down or it has a hard bounce or something like that. So part of that list cleaning before you do anything, whether you want to add them to a drip or a nurture, run all of those archived people through an email verification tool.
And what, that's a service, I'm assuming, with a group or?
It's just a tool. You can find email verification tools out there. In fact, I have a few that I can put in here in a little bit. But yeah, and what it does is it just flushes out any bad emails, things that no longer exist. It kind of does the checking for you so that you know, okay, who really is time to completely archive and ignore versus let's do a nurture campaign, or, you know, with the new services that we now offer.
So Cameron,
Yes.
so for the mastermind group, I've got a list of people that have come or said that they wanted to be on, you know, involved. And over the years, you know, I've got 500 people on the email list. They're actually broken up into 2 categories. So it's not a campaign, it's just notifying people of the email list. But you got to look how many people come on a regular basis or even contact me out of the 500. So I guess you would recommend that I go through, and I'm on MailChimp, and see who is not engaged for quite a, which has been a lot, and just archive those.
Yeah, I would run them. I would first run them through an email verification checklist or a tool,
Yeah.
see if their emails even exist. And honestly, I think, I mean, especially if you've got over the, you know, several years and these people haven't heard from you or things like that, after you run it through the email verification, I would say do a cold drip campaign, just kind of reminding them if they don't, and do it like just three emails over the course of a month. And if they don't engage with any of those within that month, move them to the archive list.
Yeah, okay.
But it's never, you know, it never hurts to try. It's when you have been trying and they're still not engaging, that's when you want to completely just archive them. Don't delete them from your system, archive them.
Right, yeah. Well, that's one thing that is good about MailChimp is, you know, you can see as to whether they've opened it at all. And that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty standard in any good email marketing platform. I am not a fan of MailChimp at all, so I will not speak to that.
Okay, okay. You use Gorilla instead? I'm kidding.
So Cameron, what do you use? Because like we use Constant Contact for our monthly newsletter. I was using Active Campaign. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they kept saying, well, how did you get these lists? How did you get these people? And it's like, well, they're our clients and they've given us their email and permission to send them things. But yet they kept shutting my emails, my monthly newsletters down. So I said, forget you. And I went back to Constant Contact. But I was curious as to who you recommend, who you like to use.
Yeah, we have our own platform that we resell that I just obviously hands down love, but we have some other ones that we will recommend to clients just kind of based on their needs. And the reason that we choose this other one is called Engage Bay. Our platform, we renamed it to Needsol email, but the other one that we recommend, Engage Bay, they do the warm up for you. Whereas our platform is obviously, we're here as kind of your agency to do it for you, even though you have full access to do it yourself. The other one, Engage Bay, they do that warm up period for you that like Active Campaign does not do. And that's why they're always so worried about, where you got your list from. It's because they just kind of let you blast, and then they're the ones that get in trouble because they have not figured out their whole process of that warm up lockdown period, whereas Engage Bay has. They won't even let you send more than like 1,000 emails a day, and even then, that's with me bugging them to up it for the clients. So, and that's a sign of a good email marketing platform is if they limit when you switch over, if they limit it for you. They know the rules and they don't want you to get in trouble right off the bat.
So we had a marketing person and they told us what you've said to, if they haven't been responding, to not send to them. So we actually deleted them all, but we're still getting charged for them. They're still showing up on we use MailChimp. And they're still part of the numbers that we're getting charged, even though they're all gone and they're deleted, which we shouldn't have done, but we didn't know.
So and that's one of the reasons why I don't necessarily care for MailChimp is because they charge on the amount of contacts versus, because you don't want to remove people that you have unsubscribed or things like that. But if you're deleting them completely from MailChimp, that I would definitely reach out to MailChimp and say, why are we being charged when our list is only X amount? Because you've deleted all the people who had unsubscribed or you've archived. Yeah, you should not be being charged for anything more than what you guys have in your system.
Okay.
So you might want to check to see if maybe they've just moved to a trash folder, because then yes, MailChimp is still going to charge you for every contact, whether they're active or not. And that's another thing to look for in platforms is there's a lot of platforms will charge either by the amount of contacts, whether you're sending it to them or not, which to me is ridiculous because you want to keep track of stuff, but that doesn't mean that person's active. Or like the platforms I always recommend is the amount of sends. You can have unlimited contacts and you're just being charged for the amount of sends that you do each month. And that kind of helps smaller companies with smaller lists that are slowly growing their list to really budget a little bit better and then still have that basic CRM functionality within the marketing platform to be able to keep those archived and unsubscribes in there without being charged for them. So you've still got that trail of what you've done and how you've engaged with somebody without worrying about, oh my gosh, I got to delete this person, otherwise I'm going to be charged again for them. No, you're just paying for any time you send.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, we'll move on. So when it comes to email marketing, things that you should always be doing regularly to really make your email marketing successful is it's not a set it and forget it. There is constant things that need to happen when you're using automation properly. You will have a lot of upfront stuff that you're doing. Obviously, you're planning out your workflow, the content of the emails, whether it be a drip campaign or a nurture. However, as you're doing these campaigns, these things on the screen here that you see, excuse me, excuse me, these things are, no matter what type of campaign you're doing, need to be done regularly. So creating, obviously, you're always going to be creating some sort of content, whether it be, you know, the new campaign workflow, or maybe you want to change, you know, something within one of those emails in the workflow. Maybe you're offering like a lead magnet, which can be like anything like a case study or a checklist that the person downloads is considered, those are lead magnets. You're drawing the lead to go download something. So you're always creating something in order to make it more appealing each time. You don't have to completely redo the entire campaign each time, but you do want to kind of update and create some content every now and then, so that if that person does go back through that campaign, they're not seeing the exact same stuff. Monitoring, so you always want to monitor, you know, your open rates, your click-through rates, checking to see how many things are, trying to think, like how many things are being downloaded, the hyperlinks that are being clicked more than others. But monitoring is also your domain reputation. So you want to be checking to make sure that you're monitoring for, you know, your overall, where are things landing? Are they going into spam? Are they going, if you're not getting a lot of opens, what's the reason for that? That's where that monitoring comes in, to make sure that your domain name still has a good reputation and you haven't been added to certain blacklists. Then you've got your A/B testing, and this can be subject line. This could be the actual content within the email. Images, you can just do certain things where you're creating two versions of it, and you're sending it out to see, you know, which has the better open rate. A lot of times people will do A/B testing where they do a 50-50 split. I like to do A/B testing where I do a 25-25-50. So the winner of A/B, so 50%, say I have a list of 1,000, 250 are going to get version A, 250 are going to get version B. Whichever version gets the most opens and clicks now is going to be sent to the other 50%. And so I'm increasing my open rate, and I'm being able to kind of improve over time by watching those A/B results, what is really getting the attention of that particular target audience. If you think about, you know, the emails that you get in your inbox, you know, I personally, when I see an emoticon in the subject line, it's instantly deleted. That's not my thing. However, that could be your target audience. They like that type of thing. That's what they're always clicking on, that's what draws their attention. So with that A/B testing, that's what you're doing, is really getting to know your audience and what's attracting them to take that action to open your email or click through within your email if you have buttons or anything.
Cameron,
Yes.
what did you call that in the subject line? Emoticon?
Emoticon, yeah.
Okay, well, here's some stupidity. What's emoticon?
So like the little thumbs up, any of those, like the
Oh.
happy faces.
Okay.
Sometimes they do, like I get the fireworks one all the time. Anytime there's a sale at one of the stores I like, and it's, yeah, I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about your sale because you put an emoticon in the subject line.
Yeah, I didn't know that's what it's called. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Analyzing, again, this kind of goes back to monitoring. So you're analyzing the results regularly. You can either, you can also analyze. So if you have multiple campaigns running, you're analyzing the results from, you know, campaign 1 to campaign 2 to campaign 3 to really be able to hone in on what the difference is. You know, is a lengthier campaign working better than our short, you know, every 2-3 days versus the stretched out over a few months. All of those things you want to constantly be analyzing to which leads to the next one, improving. If you aren't watching for the results, monitoring things and analyzing the results, then you can't ever improve on it. And then it goes into the reporting, monitoring, analyzing, and reporting. You'll see three exact, for the most part, exact same things that you're doing regularly. And it's because that is the main bulk. This is why a lot of clients that come to us say, oh, well, I've tried email marketing and it didn't work. And we always ask them, okay, well, what didn't work about it? Oh, I don't know. Okay, so you weren't monitoring, you weren't analyzing, and you weren't reporting. So you can't say it didn't work because you weren't watching for any of that stuff. So it's a never ending cycle of monitoring and testing, analyzing, and then improving upon. So even if something is working great, it can still be better. You just have to be watching for that. What is making it better? And sometimes it could be a combination of, 2 or 3 different emails within different campaigns that you had going on. Okay, well, why not test out and bring all 3 of those little aspects into your next campaign? See if all of a sudden you get a massive spike in open and click through. So any questions on that?
Have you ever heard of rapid funnel?
Rapid funnel?
Yeah,
Like
that's
click. Go ahead.
now Legal Shield uses that as a powered by, and it's called Prospect by Legal Shield now. But they have a campaign, and they have many different campaigns, and they do upgrade stuff that's in the news, but they can monitor when somebody clicks on a link, whether they open the link, and how much of a video they have watched.
Yeah, any good marketing platform will have all of that stuff in there already for you. Yeah, so if you have it, if you're, again, this goes back to like, your Outlook and Gmail they're not tracking that stuff unless you have the add-on. Like I have a mail track add-on. I know when someone's opening just my regular person or, one-to-one email, but my marketing platform is tracking every single time somebody clicks on a link within our campaign, how long they were there. I also have the tracking, and any good marketing platform will give you a tracking link to put on your website, because obviously your email campaign should send them somewhere on your website. And so all of that is tracked too. So I can see from that email, them going to the website and how long they stayed there. One, through just the marketing platform, but also Google Analytics as well. So all of that stuff comes into play with the overall marketing, because there's no point in sending emails out when you're not tracking, all the different links within there, because then you can't personalize your campaigns to that person, because it's all about the behavior. All right, so we have just a few things here. So just that some questions that we've been asked. And so, when you're creating new content, like those lead magnets, those are great things to have in your website, social media, but also place them in your email, signature. Not everybody that you talk to on a regular basis through your Outlook or Gmail account goes to your website. So if you created content, don't let it just sit there in a folder. Put it in your email signature. Maybe you've got something special for the holidays. Put it in your email signature to get it out there more often to people who may not always, be watching for your full campaigns or your social media. We've also got, like here, this kind of goes into what I've been talking about of a good marketing platform. Whether you have 1 contact or 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000, have a CRM/marketing platform. It doesn't have to be Salesforce or Microsoft Dynamics. You do not have to spend a whole bunch of money, but you should have something to keep things organized, and that will do an email type of campaign for you. It doesn't have to be advanced automation like some of the platforms that we use, but it should have at least the broadcast type of capabilities within it. And then this is kind of just, everybody's different. Sometimes people just need how much time you've been spending each time or each month. Some clients just want a newsletter. They don't care about the whole campaign. They just want a newsletter. Other people, we've got ones that send a newsletter as well as 2 to 3 emails per week, especially if they're e-commerce. You want to stay on top of those, remind people, hey, you left something in your shopping cart. We noticed it was this, but we're also having a sale on this. Always upselling, cross-selling, all of that stuff. So each business need is different. And you should really know what your need is for that, those different types of channels, whether it be social, email, postcards, whatever those different channels you're using are based on your target audience. And sometimes you may have multiple target audiences. So you are going to want to do more things throughout the month, not just email, because you may have a target audience that's always on social. So make sure that you are where your target audience is. That's it. I know I talk fast, so. I could dive into this. I could geek out on this for like an entire week, but I don't want to bore people. I see you over there, Bud, going like, doing the head bob.
No, I was just, I just had to see what somebody sent me. I'm sorry.
No worries.
But, I think this is something that, is a prime example of why we don't do this. So it's
Right.
complicated and a lot more involved than what the average person thinks. And, we like doing what we do. We would like the results of something like this, but actually doing it ourselves, it's like you got another job. And that's
Right.
probably why people hire you.
Right. And if you can see up on my screen, this is a very, if you believe it or not, this is actually a very basic drip campaign. Very basic.
Yeah.
All of these little nodes are watching behavior, adding where they are within the workflow, delays, the emails being sent. Some people may look at this and go, how is that basic? This is incredibly basic compared to, I've been told some of the workflows that we've done look like conspiracy theory boards where things are just going, and it can get that complicated. It is all over the place, but that's because every single node is tracking something that they're doing somewhere in the path that they are, giving them points. And that's another thing to make sure in automation is that you're scoring their behavior. It's called a lead score. And that way, if you have, either yourself or you have a salesperson or something, they know who to focus on because that lead score is way up there. I think I have like every open is 5 points. So I've got a few people in here that have like 80 points and they've only received like 2 or 3 emails. Okay, well, that tells me they're clicking on stuff. They're interested. So I know who to spend my time on and be like, hey, reach out to them directly because they're engaging a lot more often. They're interested in something.
Yeah.
And then we have, something as simple as just, this is just reminding me, just a follow-up. Like it's just reminding me that I need to do something. So you have very, very simple, just kind of sales task versus, a very basic campaign. And this is a drip campaign, not a nurture. You would see a lot more happening if it was a nurture.
So Cameron, I know probably the thought on everybody's mind is, gosh, what does all this cost? And I know you can't tell us exactly, but for small businesses, where's your industry or where are you, if you want to say, what kind of range you're looking for, looking at these things?
For this type of platform, we actually sell, and let me just double check before for this platform here, which is incredibly user friendly. That's one of the reasons why we picked it, because we personally like our clients to be self-sufficient. If they, not everybody can afford us 24/7. So we, we packaged this
Oh, okay.
Because it's very, I
Okay.
mean, very big icons, user friendly. They've got an academy, and I'm trying to pull it up on my other screen. I'm pretty sure that for 10,000 emails, 10,000 emails per month. So you get unlimited contacts. You can do whatever in here. It's $150 a month. And it's your platform. It's got our branding, but it's your platform. So if you hate it, you just cancel. You don't have to, we don't have to be in it for you. You can, have us hire us to be in it for you. And then that would just be our package rates or hourly rates, which are on our website. We're always fully transparent. I don't like hiding anything from anybody. Know what you're getting into. We are actually, if you can see, this is the industry standard. This is us. So I don't, to me, that's disgusting. I didn't go to school to be a lawyer. I don't know why anybody would charge those rates. But then we also have, these package where you save, or these bundle of hours where you save on the overall hourly rate. So we have clients who purchase the platform and then just have us go in for 10 hours each month to set stuff up.
Okay.
So very, very flexible. But yeah, the pack or this platform itself, if you have a list of 1,000, you're not going to be sending more, unless you're e-commerce, you're not going to be sending more than 10,000 emails a month.
Right.
So.
And that's your entry level.
That is, entry level. And it goes up from there with the 10,000. With the 10,000 emails, you're also getting, let's see, you have landing pages, you get automation. I think there's like a few users. So you're getting everything you would need without the added, I know like MailChimp and Constant Contact, like every user is a certain price, or there's like certain add-ons where you have to pay a little bit extra for. Whereas because we know what you should have, we've built that into our packages.
And you, either you've got step-by-step instructions or you help train people to use this. How does that work?
Yes, we would onboard. Yeah, there is the platform itself does have like a little academy. It's always, has a knowledge base. But yes, we will onboard and do like an hour training on just getting you set up in the system, showing you the basics so that, whoever, so the client can be self-sufficient in here. And then of course, if anybody does have any additional questions, we're always just an email or chat message or phone call away to jump in. So, we have had clients who they've gone in here and they're like, okay, this is easy, but I just don't have the time. So can I just pay you guys to do it for me? And it makes it easy because we're already in the system anyways. We just flip the switch and go log in as them, and we can jump in and start doing stuff.
Okay. So after things are set up, which usually getting something started to begin with is, and used to it is the big chore.
Mhm.
How many hours a day, if someone has got, maybe not even 10,000, but like say 5,000, how many hours a day would you say it needs to be looked at, monitored, dealt with, and stuff like that?
It depends on how many campaigns you have running at one time. If you have just one campaign, honestly, 1 hour a week, if you have just one basic campaign, you should just kind of be checking, taking a look at what's going on, how many opens, things like that, click-throughs. Click-throughs are where your obviously conversions are going to be. Opens are great, but if no one's clicking through, you need to improve something. Open rate is not always the best to be focused on. So honestly, again, based on the complexity of the campaign and how many you have going, 1 to 2 hours a week.
And then if somebody's using this and it's just not working for them, I imagine you can, with their request, you can jump on and you can probably quickly analyze it for them to see what their downfall is.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
And that was another reason why because I've been hunting for a good platform to be able to offer, because we've had, Infusionsoft has approached us, well, now Keep. We've had Thrive approach us, and I just did not feel that their platforms were really giving everybody exactly what they needed, just knowing who our target audience is, which is solo, micro, and small businesses. I did not feel like they were giving everybody what they needed at the right cost. And so when we stumbled upon this platform and worked with the developers and their team, it was hands down like, wow, you guys like read my mind. And so we're very happy to be able to offer our own platform now.
So it's someone else's platform that you've modified to make your own.
Yes.
Very
Yeah,
good.
we've white listed it or white labeled it. So it's, like I said, it's called Needsol email. But yeah, it's a platform made for agencies like us to then package our own deals of what we want. In fact, I was in a meeting just yesterday with a whole bunch of, with the whole group and a whole bunch of other agencies across the world, looking at some of the new features that they have coming out. And a lot of people like myself were just like, you guys have thought of everything. You took the best of every other platform out there and you brought it into one.
Yeah. So I've got that right. The name, it's Needs All.
Needs, so Needham, like Needham Solutions, just need, and then Sol, SOL for solutions, Needsol.
SOL. Okay. Okay. Want to make sure.
Yeah. And it will be up. We have not put it up on our website yet to purchase, but that will be next week. We'll actually have it to where you can just purchase the email platform. Right now, it's kind of hidden under our DIY packages and DIY plus assist packages. But yeah, next week it'll be offered just as is.
Very good.
Question.
Yep. Can I ask a question?
If
I'm sorry.
person is looking like myself, you look at something like this, know nothing about it. What kind of a ROI can I plug in or look at getting? Like, I have a nonprofit and I'm looking for grants and funding and things like that. If I'm looking at a fee of say $500 a month or more, what kind of return on investment would I be looking at?
So that's going to come down to obviously the time that you need to prepare the automation, the content, all of that stuff, and breaking it down into how much does each lead that comes to you, like, each potential customer, what is their cost after you calculate, all the time spent into it. So without knowing what that looks like, what I wouldn't be able to answer that, but email does have, as you saw from my slide, 83% of people prefer email marketing or email communication as their number one. I think Facebook was right behind it at like 40% or something. So email is still number one. It other than promotional products, which is a totally different type of marketing channel, but promotional products is the top. And then email marketing is your number one as far as digital.
So, but have you ever worked with another nonprofit? And because like in my own case, we don't have any staff to do anything. Okay. So anything that we have a list of 10,000 or 15,000, I don't even know. We don't contact them that often because we just don't have the skill or the know-how.
Right.
And to try to turn that into money that would be able to pay somebody, what kind of a program would I be looking at?
Yeah, that would be something for you and I to discuss offline. We have talked to other nonprofits before, and like, obviously, I have to pay my people, but we have, we can give a discount to nonprofits. So yeah, that would definitely be something that, if you wanted to take that offline to discuss, so I can kind of better understand exactly what you're looking to do and see where we can, make that discount work for you.
How would we do that? Do I just go to chat and we could talk after?
What I can do is I'll send you my booking link.
Okay,
And then you can just grab time on my calendar.
okay.
So I'm gonna ask you a pretty broad question here.
Mhm.
Put you on the spot. So in line with what Tom is saying, so what percentage of people of emails, so someone's got 10,000 emails, like Tom said, after going through your program and all those different steps, what percentage would you say is going to come out to be your ideal client and a real potential buyer or involvement person? I mean, you talking about 2%, 3%, a tenth of a percent? I mean, you have, I don't know if you have that number down as far as an overall type thing.
Well, the thing to remember is your list shouldn't include anybody that isn't already a potential client. It comes down to that A/B testing to grab that potential client's, attention to even open your emails and click through. But yeah, so whether you have a list of 10,000, all of those people better be potential leads or customers to begin with. But two, across the United States right now, it's a 17% open rate, but that's because the email service providers keep changing all their spam and algorithm. And then it's I think it's like 1.7% click through. So it is very low. But that's why you always want to do that A/B testing and monitoring and analyzing your results, because I mean, I've got some campaigns going right now that are 5% click through, which is above average for the entire industry. And that's just because I never stop changing. And there's really, I can't, without knowing, what each person is doing, I wouldn't be able to say what results they're going to get, because I haven't analyzed it myself to find out who their target audience is. And some people, I mean, some industries, email isn't. I mean, I think you should still be trying email, but it may not be where your target audience is. So
You'd still recommend an email verification first?
oh yeah, always clean your list. Don't ever import any list anywhere, even if it's from another platform that you were using. Always run it through an email verification tool first, and then only export or download the valid ones and only import those valid ones into the new platform.
Yeah. When I was a loan officer, of course, my ideal client was realtors. So my list of realtors, when I would put out, which I did once a week, I put out a newsletter to them with information that they, would want to look at. I was running about, depending on the program, 18 to 22% opening.
Open rate, yeah.
Which was I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, yes, it's about, I want to say it's about, it's probably gone up recently, but the last time I looked, it's about 15% open rate, or, across the United States. But yeah, 20, if you're getting 22, yeah, that's a good percentage.
Good.
How often should you send out emails, or like a newsletter?
That depends on your target audience. Every business is different. We have some clients that just do it once a month. We have others who do it twice a month. Again, it just depends on your specific target audience. And even within the same industry, your target audience could be slightly different. So there's not even an industry standard.
What other questions we have for Cameron?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah,
Cameron, do you have a thought process on list acquisition? Do you have firms you use for that? Or, because I'm assuming we're supplying you the email list to market to.
Yeah, you would have, if you have your own list, we do have our own tools that we can definitely work with and grab some additional ones for you. Obviously, you always want organic as far as acquisition, but that comes with other marketing things like social things like that. If you're starting out with a very, very small list and you want to grow it, we definitely have different B2B and B2C tools where we can go grab the people who have opted in somewhere to allow third parties to contact them. So yes.
Okay.
In fact, I just found like 4,000 for a client that we were doing for. I just kept going through this list, and now he has an additional 4,000 people he's emailing to.
Yeah. Well, that could be good for you, Dave. You know, you're
That's
always,
what I was, I'm
you're always-
been looking for a lead source, and
Yeah.
actually I spoke to one yesterday, and they'll provide 15 leads for $350 and send out 5,000 emails. How does your program work? Have you worked with anyone in merchant processing, or?
We've done a website for merchant processing, but not on their marketing side. They just needed their website kind of revamped. 15 leads for $250. Is that
Oh,
them calling?
They will make calls. They can provide me
Okay,
15
okay.
appointments for $350. This comes out to about $24 a lead, which is pretty good standard in our industry.
Right. Yeah, I just want to make sure I understood that right. Yeah. So we have the lists, like we would get you the list to be able to email to, but yeah, we don't do the call appointment setting.
No,
and
no,
calling. Yeah.
No. but
Okay.
they-
I just wanted to make sure I understood what, yeah. Because
But
I was
you're
like,
the- you
wow, 15
provide-
for.
You could do the mailing or emailing for me and to generate leads.
Yes. Yeah.
good, good. Okay,
And
so
the
what
way,
else we
and a
have?
lot of those, just to note, Dave, a lot of those places who do like the appointment setting, stuff like that, their emails are very salesy, which is a turnoff to a lot of people. So that's one thing to just watch. Like if they're doing that for you as well, always ask to see the script, the actual email copy that they're going to send. Or, I mean, obviously, if you wanted us to do that, that'd be great. But those particular places that will also throw in, hey, we'll also send 5,000 emails out for you. Always ask to see the email copy, because I have been horrified at some of the stuff that was sent out on behalf of our clients. And it's like, how they got
Oh,
you.
Yeah, actually, we have a meeting and I'll provide them a script and.
Perfect.
So.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
good.
so
I
when
haven't
that-
decided yet, but a close friend of mine has used them before, so he's very confident in them, but
Okay.
we'll see.
So when that happens, Dave, I know you've done it before. So you get those people that their appointments are already set. What percentage can you close?
Well, usually between 10 and 20%.
Okay,
Yeah, that's good.
not too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
But to get my return on my investment, I need to close two out of 15.
Uh-huh.
So that'll make me whole, and then I get on the back end, get the residual. So
Right, right. Okay. Well, shall we all give Cameron a big hand? Fantastic. Very,
Yes.
very, very good. I had no idea that you did all of that. I mean, that's quite extensive. You do a great job.
Thank you.
So let me ask you, Cameron, do you deal in LinkedIn?
Yes. Yep.
You do.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, we do automation, like the messaging, automated messaging in LinkedIn. Yeah, unlike most places, we actually look for the people who change their name to emoticons and make sure that people aren't sending out automation with a whole bunch of emoticons in it, because that's what the person changed their name to.
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I met somebody who we were talking, and they're a LinkedIn specialist. And she said she'd always, be willing to talk with the group, but I'm not going to step on your toes,
Oh yeah, I mean, if she does the profiles, that's fine. Yeah, we don't, we do the more of the messaging piece. Profile, the whole LinkedIn profile thing, that's like a whole nother beast. So yeah, I mean, because I would love to learn. I know some tricks for the profile itself. But yeah, our specialty is the messaging, like the automated messages and connection requests. That's what we do.
Yeah. You happen to know Kat Ramirez?
Kat Ramirez, that sounds really familiar.
Yeah, she seems to be pretty big on, she actually reached out to me, and then we had a Zoom meeting.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'll talk with her further.
Yeah.
Okay, well, very good. What's our topic for next week, guys? Not everyone
Social
at
media.
once,
I'll blow
okay?
everybody's mind. Social media.
I was going to say, these programs have been extremely interesting, and I have gotten so much value out of them, because that does help. And I've got a list of people that I haven't done things with, and I'm feeling so ashamed.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh, what a waste. That and this is just really, we follow along in this genre. This is fine with me.
Well, and see, that's because you're learning the alignable. So now you know if you have like a platform like this, you instantly go put the person's contact information in the marketing platform. You can now start like a campaign, just a, hey, thanks for reaching out. Show them a little bit about what you do. Don't be salesy. That's the one thing I tell people, don't be salesy. But then same with LinkedIn, there's so many tools in LinkedIn world to grab people's contact information, and you can bring that into the marketing platform as well. So your marketing platform is, other than your website, is your back-end hub for all those other places. So it's your communication tool on steroids.
Well, one thing, you know, we've been doing this for so long, and it was very spotty that we would have speakers that are specialists. And I like this because it kind of takes us to another level here, you know, where we've got specialists that are coming in and speaking. And, you know, once we, you know, I offer it to anybody that, you know, wants to speak, not trying to sell anything, you know, but being that teacher, you know, in mind. Please, you know anybody, please pass it on. And we'll try to input these at different times. Still want to have our discussions, but I think this just, you know, builds up our knowledge base so well, and quite a benefit to everybody that's in the group to do things like this. So I like it too. Love it. Yeah.
Cameron, put your appointment contact information in the chat, and we can.
Yeah, I
copy
did.
it.
Yep.
Oh, okay, thanks.
It's in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And
folks.
if anybody wants to know about, like, maybe next, I don't know, not obviously next week or something like that, but websites is another, I can geek out on websites and the importance of them forever.
Website, geek out with Cameron. Okay.
Cameron,
Yes, geek out with.
Cameron, does your company, or do you do landing pages, build landing pages for people?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's just, a landing page is nothing more than a one-page website.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of creating some niche markets, and I got specific domain names just for those
Perfect.
landing pages, and I need somebody to create it for me because I can't.
Yeah, we do all of that. Yep, anything like that is our, yeah, I can geek out on that stuff forever.
Okay, good.
So fantastic. I really love it. And just reach out to Cameron. She's kind of different. She's not the salesperson, as you can see, you know, from that standpoint. She's just a real down to earth person, you know. And so I'm sure she'll help you with anything you're interested in. So
Yeah, absolutely. I'm here to help however I can. So
right. Okay. Well, thank you very much. You guys have a great week. And from here tomorrow, we're going to California in our motorhome. So we'll be gone and for almost a week. So you take it easy, but I will be back, and I'll put on some miraculous idea for a meeting for next week.
thank you all.
Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Hey,
Bye.
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 All right. Sounds good.